The Cowboys have been teasing about making a trade for a while. People were like, is this going to happen?
Substantial trade.
A substantial trade. Thank you.
All right, Jarrah.
And people were like, Jared, are you just old and crazy, or is this really going to happen? Well, this morning it did happen. They landed their number 2 wide receiver, George Pickens.
George Pickens is a Dallas Cowboy.
CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Tyler Ferguson, passing options amongst many, including your very own Trayshawn Holden.
Yes, who was very upset that he went undrafted. He's using it as motivation. His wide receiver coach is now, ironically, the wide receiver coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
I hope he does well. You spit on a player. I mean, sometimes you got to suffer the consequences.
He learned his lesson, all right? He learned his lesson.
Pickens and a second-round who famously second-round pick of the Steelers in 2022, final year of his rookie contract. So that thing obviously did not work out for them.
No, that was a thing that's been brewing for basically a calendar year now. I think it's part of the reason they traded for DK Metcalf. The irony of that is they still don't have a starting quarterback. So, we'll see how that works out in Pittsburgh. Maybe it ends up being Aaron Rodgers. This was a divorce that was set in stone almost.
Yeah, well, Steeler fans are actually kind of pissed about this because they wanted to see what DK and Pickens would be like as weapons.
I don't blame him. Maybe with Aaron Rodgers for a year, see what you could do. Why the hell not? It's better than Mason Rudolph.
The Cowboys acquired George Pickens and a 6th-round pick, and the Steelers in exchange get a 2026 3rd-round pick and a 2027 5th-round pick.
Yeah, I have split feelings on this. On the one hand, that's not a lot to give up for a guy who is an incredibly talented wide receiver. Like, nobody questions his physical traits and abilities. Their quarterback play has been some of the worst in the NFL over the last 3 years. He's gone for 800 yards, 1,100 yards, and 900 yards in 3 seasons. He's been incredibly durable. Like, his numbers have been solid considering he's not playing in a high-functioning offense. The part of it that I am cautious with that makes me throw a little bit of cold water on my excitement if I'm a Cowboys fan is that how many of these crazy Steeler wide receivers have gone on to better parts of their career after they left Pittsburgh?
Well, Antonio Brown won a Super Bowl.
He did.
Now, did it end weirdly in New York?
He did.
And has not been the same since?
Yeah. He did win a Super Bowl. I'll give him that. He won a Super Bowl. But outside of that, it didn't go very well. Like, I just feel like a lot of these guys are bad. There's something about Steeler wide receivers. They're just badass crazy. And when they leave, everything unravels in their life because they just don't have the structure or what. Maybe Mike Tomlin holds them together. I don't know. That's the only thing here that I'm just like, if this dude's a problem in Pittsburgh, Dak starts throwing a couple of picks. Like he's going to be a problem everywhere he goes. It's just a question of, are you willing to put up with him?
Dan Orlovsky says that this move makes the Cowboys a playoff team.
I mean, them being a playoff team wouldn't be very surprising. They've been largely a playoff team over the last handful of years.
Get this, the division now, this is the NFC East. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Scary Terry, Deebo Samuel.
It's a hell of a wide receiver division.
That's a lot of talent, man.
It's a lot of talent at one position in one division. I don't know. I mean, look, the Cowboys are still going to be the Cowboys, but them making the playoffs, this is a nice, formidable tandem. It's just a question of, can you keep him happy? And then if you can keep him happy, are you willing to give him the long-term extension?
Well, his last game as a Steeler wasn't particularly great.
Dude, this guy was a problem. Like, not running routes, not trying. You can go look out.
Had some dropsies.
Dude, he had some dropsies. Yeah, I mean, in the playoff game, he ended up having a nice performance, but towards the end of the regular season, like, it got ugly for him. They lost 19-17 in their last game of the regular season against Cincinnati. He had 1 catch for 6 yards
that's
or
the
no
game
yards.
I'm thinking about instead of the playoff game, yeah.
Dude, there are people that went out. You can do this on the NFL media app, and you can do the all-22 or single-player camera stuff, and people, singled out his highlights or just lowlights, if you will, throughout the course of a game where he's not run blocking, he's not getting off the ball, he's jogging on half of his routes.
He knows he's not going to get the ball.
Just zero attempt, zero willingness to play team football and do what it takes to make the others around you better. Can Dallas change that? Maybe they can. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be happier there. He's going to have a better quarterback, no matter how you feel about Dak Prescott. He's better than whatever the hell the Steelers have been doing the last 3 years. But these guys are headaches. He's going to be a headache for the Cowboys like he was for Pittsburgh.
We're going to talk with Ryan Stiles, a Locked On Thunder, coming up here at the bottom of the hour. That's what I said, Rylan Stiles. Rylan Stiles.
I think he said Rylan that time. I think he got it right.
I absolutely did. Why don't you check
Timberwolves
tape?
and Warriors.
Oracle. Get off this name problem. It's your issue, not mine. You know, there was some talk that people
What were they talking about?
they were complimenting that Schottenheimer hasn't had a lot of noise, that this is a sign that things might be better. Yeah, that was a real thing that I heard on ESPN.
The reason there's no noise is because the Cowboys haven't done anything this offseason.
Yeah, but like Schottenheimer hasn't stepped in it.
He hasn't said anything stupid.
Yeah.
That's how low we're setting the bar for the Cowboys now. He hasn't made an ass of himself 2 months into being the head coach of the team. That's now the success rate for the organization.
Is that team have you shaken in your boots?
No, nothing about the Cowboys makes me shake in my boots.
Really?
Nothing about them.
That's too bad because they like to wear boots in Texas.
They do like to
I think
wear
they want
boots.
you shaking in your boots.
I mean, look, they were 7-10 last year. The injuries piled up. They're going to be a playoff contender this year if they stay healthy.
They definitely could make the playoffs.
They have been for the last 8 years. It's like 6 of the 8 years they've been in the playoffs and lost some hilarious playoff games.
You have Dak, you have Lamb, you have Parsons.
That
they're
in the mix.
Yes, you should be in the mix.
You stay healthy, you're in the mix. And I think you have a chance for some of these teams in the NFC. Like when you look at schedules and the way they break down, you tell me Detroit takes a little bit of step back this year, I wouldn't be surprised by it. You tell me Washington has a harder schedule. They're probably not going to win 12 games again. I wouldn't be surprised by it. There's a handful of teams like that in the NFC. And the reality is we do this a lot with the AFC. Of the wild card chase in that conference is brutal. Like you got the AFC North with 3 teams that could be playoff contenders. You got the AFC West where you could argue the entire division is a playoff contender. And the NFC, man, the wild card race, what are we dealing with here? It's not that hard. And so maybe the Bears come up and surprise. Maybe some other teams are better. But the NFC South is mostly dog-ass. And outside of that, they got a chance to make the playoffs this year.